Welcome to NSR Talks. Today we're going to be discussing build your kingdom before your life queen. Now, we live in a generation where everybody wants love, everybody wants to be in a relationship. You see all these relationship gurus online, on YouTube, and on TikTok. Everybody's selling you love, everybody's selling you relationships, and I feel like all of that stuff is false because a lot of these dudes in these relationships don't have their own life established. They're hiding from their responsibilities behind a woman. They're filling a void that they have in their life with a relationship, and they don't really know who they are. A lot of men can't even buy land. A lot of men don't even have their own apartment, and that's the bare minimum. I feel like as a man, you should at least have your own apartment or your own studio, whatever, somewhere where you can call your own. Where you can go back to after your grind. But a lot of men don't even have that, and I feel like a lot of dudes, in order to avoid doing the work and avoid facing themselves, they hide behind women and they hide behind a relationship, a false relationship that they think is gonna fulfill them. But in reality, it's a waste of time because at the end of the day, is that woman gonna be there 10 years from now? Is that gonna be the woman that you know helps you leave your legacy with your kids, or are you just there because you want consistent cat? You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of dudes don't really know what they want out of a relationship. And the media shows you that relationships are supposed to be this glamorous movie. Everything's gonna fall into place and you're gonna live happily ever after. But at the end of the day, most relationships fail. And I feel like as a man, you're the head, you're not the tail. The woman is supposed to follow your lead. The woman is supposed to trust in your process and she's supposed to come into your world and your kingdom. But a lot of dudes, they're going into a woman's kingdom. And what I mean by that, a lot of dudes are living with women. A lot of dudes are relying on driving women's car, using women's money, and they think it's cool. They think, oh, I don't gotta give no more woman the money. She give me money. That's not cool. As a man, you're supposed to be the head. You're supposed to be the one leading. You're supposed to be the one that she looks up to. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of dudes, they just want cat, and the cat controls them. They feel like I'll never find another bubble like this again. So they accept disrespect. They accept the bare minimum because they are afraid to be alone. And I feel like as a man, it's essential to be alone. Like your solitude is really all you have. Because when you're in solitude, that's when you can really build yourself up and really build your kingdom and really know what you want out of life. So I feel like as a man, don't let your desire for love, your desire for lust, distract you from what truly matters in the beginning and at the end. And I feel like building your kingdom is the main thing that matters as a man because when you have a kingdom and you're established, women are easy. You get to decide and choose who comes into your kingdom, and you're not just choosing a woman out of desperation because you feel lonely or whatever. And a lot of men, they feel lonely because they don't have a purpose. When you're grinding and you have something that you're striving for, you have a goal that you're trying to reach, you have a business you're trying to build, you're trying to stack your money, whatever it is, that blocks out the loneliness because you know that you have to be alone in order to achieve these goals so that nothing knocks you off your center and nothing knocks you off your path. But when you're in a relationship and you're not established, it's like you're walking blind. You're blinded by the lust, you're blinded by the beauty, you're blinded by the illusion of what a relationship is supposed to be in your mind. But really, I feel like a relationship is meant to leave a legacy. Two people come together that are complete and they build a family. I feel like that's what relationships really are for. But a lot of people, they see relationships as entertainment. They use relationships for validation and for just to show people, oh, look at my girl, oh, look at my marriage. You know what I'm saying? It's just not real. And I feel like when you're in a relationship, you're more vulnerable to emotional pain and emotional uh, destruction. Especially if you're not established and you don't know who you are first, and you don't have the ability to walk away at any given moment. That's when everything could be taken away from you. You know what I mean? If you have anything, because most dudes don't have nothing, but they want a relationship. But at the end of the day, build your kingdom before your queen comes. This has been NSR Talks. Thank you guys for coming through.